time. And yeah, so it's June. This is the last week of fast track, and we're going to start July 10th and 12th. We'll start with the 16-week program. We're not meeting Labor Day, Monday or Wednesday. So just want to reach out to, make sure that everybody knows we got Zeke and Doris and Willie on. Kevin's trying to log on. If anybody comes on late, guys, kind of just real quick, going to go over the schedule. Obviously, we have Wednesday night. Wednesday night, we're going to do a couple more things for this class we're doing now, finishing just some more review. But tonight, I want to kind of just go over some areas of what I'm doing. So we got the 90-page private money, hard money, creative financing guide. It's 90 pages of material. I'm going to upload it, but I'm going to take it. You guys will go. There's 3 areas you need to look at the private group and the Facebook group. And one of them is obviously you guys see there's a section called guides. And then there's the other one, obviously we have a thing called chats. People have had a hard time finding chats, but if you find the chats in there, we have some chats. There's going to be, those are where the videos are. So all the videos like tonight's video and Wednesday night's video, all those videos are saved, and I basically post them in the main Facebook group, and I also have been posting them in the chats. So everybody needs to find them tomorrow. I'll screenshot. When I upload this video, I will screenshot the how to find the chats, because you can find all the videos. So anybody that's missed anything, all the videos are there if you've missed a class on the Wednesday nights. On the Monday nights, we haven't done a whole lot of those. We recorded them. So, but every Wednesday night's there, and some of the Mondays. And then you want to go to guides, which is in the main group, and it's easy to find. You guys can it's there now, and you'll start seeing the guides. I'm going to upload everything. It'll have a title. So it may say creative, it may be for seller carry. And there's probably 7 or 8 paragraphs or snippets I'm going to upload of the actual words, word for word. So I'll have the title, and then I'll have 1,000 words or less in that, the paragraph. So we're going to do it like paragraph by paragraph. The next one's going to have the next title, the next 1,000 words or less. It's going to be a lot of information, but I'm just going to go right down the order of the guide. Then I'll actually send the guide to everybody at the end of the class, but you guys will have all the material in that guide section. So you can just go there, and you'll be able to just go right through it. If you want to do seller care, if you want to do subject 2, then you can just go to that area of subject 2, and you'll have the 7 or 8, probably 7 or 8,000 words of subject 2 information. And it's going to, all 90 pages total, something like ridiculous amount of words, like 150,000, 180,000 words. So there's a lot of information that's going to be posted there for the program. Then in the files tab, I've got, like in the 70s, where the analyzers are, all the contracts are there. I've got another over 200 additional documents, contracts, templates that are going to be uploaded there for you guys to download. You'll have chats, you'll have files, and you'll have guides. And that's going to be all in the main associates group. So that's what I'm going to be uploading a lot of in the next 2 weeks. Between now and when we start on really on the 12th, because the 10th, guys, is the format's going to be on the 10th. It's going to be like tonight. It's going to be really open discussion, networking, people from lenders only, like Erica Walker, who we just talked to tonight. Will you have a chance to talk? You guys will have a chance to present, what you can do for people as far as your lending programs when you're finally a correspondent. Hopefully, Erica's working on that as well. We're going to have an opportunity for everybody to present that. Plus, people, who are in the class, Doris, all you guys can, we'll be able to bring your deals to them, and you guys will be all together, guys. And what you've seen over the weekend is like, we had a couple of people. One of our Casey, you guys know Casey, he's been on a couple of times. Casey told me on Friday he has about $50,000 that he can do gap and transaction and EMD funding this. We have a number of those people. We probably have 10 or 15 of those people in the group. So I did a calculation. I believe we have around $1 million of EMD and transaction and gap money. And I believe that doesn't include, like Willie and you guys are doing brokering and all that stuff. That doesn't include all the lenders you broker for. So obviously that having that kind of gap in EMD money is going to help you close deals with your clients. So we're going to make sure that over the course of the Mondays that all of you guys are starting to work together. Everybody, like, Casey has his 50 grand. You get with Casey and you can start figuring out how to tap into his 50 grand. So that'll be a good opportunity for you, Willie, to get some gap money for your clients, EMD and all that stuff. May even help with Kevin's deal. So that's kind of the direction we're going with that, is making sure that we can start pulling in these resources with people that have 25, 50, $100,000. They don't have to go out there and loan $100,000, $200,000 on a deal. They can go out and do a gap, get in and get out. Just like you're talking about on Kevin's deal when it gets paid back. So we have a lot of those resources, guys. I'm putting all that together, and I think it's a lot different than what they're doing with the Gator stuff. I think it's because we're going to be able to do it with a smaller group. We may have 100 or less people in our group, and that's going to be really those 100 people are going to, once we tap out, we got 5 or 6 people coming in now this week, and 100 people could tap into that money and use it and really have almost exclusive access to it. So I'm pretty excited about that. So those are the 3 areas you want to go to on the Facebook group is files, chats, and guides, and then everything else will be posted in the main group, in the main group pages. So it's going to be really good. But like I said, we want to kind of reach out if anybody's listening that's not on tonight, and you do have 2,000, 5,000, 20,000, 50,000, 100,000, and you want to participate in that, then we'll help you. We have all the systems. You've got a lot of contacts now. Put that in place, and then we'll get you guys with the brokers, the guys like Willie and the guys who can broker that money. Mel, Bill Johnson. There's a lot of guys out there that are in our program that can broker that, and they can put that together with their clients and help you. And we'll put together so that you get a solid return. It's safe. It goes in and out to the title company. It goes directly to anybody, and it's a good system. And then they can, we can start wrapping those ZMD and those gap funds around these deals that you guys are looking for, where you need 20% or 10%, or you need to close down payment or EMD to close it. So that's what's going on there. And then obviously I'm combining, making, instead of having a 1.0 and 2.0 there, the 2.0 is going to have a lot of things that aren't real estate. So we talked about that a few weeks ago. It's just going to be easy to make the 2.0 that's 100% real estate, 850 lenders, and the 8,000 that I get access to on Saturday. I'll have access to that, so I can send those over to the VA. And that way just comes out as you got 10,000 in real estate only. You don't need all the venture capitalists and all that stuff. That list will still be put together with the existing ones that are in the Excels right now that you can download in the files tab. Those will be like if people need venture capitalists or if they need family offices and stuff, because a lot of those people don't want anything to do. They're not doing any real estate. So it's just going to be better. People have asked me just for real estate. They don't want anything that's convoluted. So we're going to make one big database for just nothing but real estate. And then if anybody wants that list, you have that list, you can access it too, but it's just something that a lot of people aren't going to need. So, I mean, there's a lot of stuff like this going on. This is really kind of a week we're kind of in lull in a way because we're getting ready. We'll have next week completely off. And then we start in the 10th and 12th, and we go 16 weeks, literally. So it's going to be a lot of intense, a lot of stuff I'm getting ready for. And then, since you're working on that building, Willie, if Kevin pulls it off, my office and my studio will be there. So it'll be kind of cool. I'll get to be right above Danny's office too. So I'll be able to bang on the floor. Yeah, so we got a lot of good, like I said, man, a lot of stuff going on. So, Doris, I still need to get with all you guys. Doris, I still need to get with Becky on those questions. I apologize. I know you didn't have internet, so I kind of feel like I could have got them. If I even sent them to you, you would have got them. I got a few more questions to answer for you on your lenders that you're broken for. And then, obviously, if you want to do Rock, Willie's in with Rock, so he can probably give you his contact there.
Okay.
Seeing as you've probably never done it before where he has, you may want like I said, want to start with the Vizios and, the Kogos and those kind of fund lenders because they're a little easier to start with than Rock. And I just signed up for Rock like a week before the pandemic. So I had never done anything with them because obviously we were down for like 6 months. Literally before I could even breathe. And then anybody that's out there watching, we got 10 or 12 people that still need to connect with Cameron Barry. So if anybody wants to still connect with and hasn't, he's got a queue. Like I said, tonight's just really discussion. I'm going to connect you guys with Cameron, make sure, because a lot of people have told me that they're trying to get in touch with him over his deal. So he'll do 50 rental property, single family, 660 FICO score. You have to do in the Midwest. It is single family only. So you get, they'll do the purchase loan, the down payment loan, and you'll get cash back at close in most cases. So you could walk back with a couple $100,000 and you close on 50 properties. So you've got your assets that you can refi, pull cash out in 2 years. You can cross collateralize and take that and put into something else like storage, still owning them. You could sell them, whatever you want to do. You got a lot of flexibility, and then you got your income, your cash flow, and your assets. And then over time, you can build wealth with that. So anybody that's listening, if you need to talk to Cameron, or if you've been trying to get with me, Cameron's obviously got a queue. He's got a lot of people interested in that. It's a very unique program. It's very solid. Cameron is in our 2020 group, just out of college, and he's putting deals together like that. So there's like I said, probably the 90-page document, and I could literally probably put 1,000 pages of information in it. There's just so much stuff, so many case studies. I probably at least got 100 deals that could load the actual deals and the deal notes in, and I'm kind of debating whether to do that. It's just I don't want to overwhelm a lot of new people and they start looking at underwriters notes and stuff. Sometimes it's overwhelming enough to having to do like a basic flip deal as opposed to like going in and looking like underwriters and they're making their little notes they're sending back to the back and forth between them and the process from the transaction coordinator. So just an incredible amount of material coming down, guys. That's why tonight I really wanted to emphasize that on recording so everybody can kind of get ready for the storm. But I'm going to do it in a way that it's not going to be all there at once. I don't want people having to flip out and like, hey, I got to go through all this. But over time, you're going to have like, I mean, literally, it's probably going to take somebody an hour to scroll through the amount of information I'm going to be uploading to that area called guides. And then you can go in there if you need to find your subject to strategy. You got all your funding situations, and I even have like forms like that asset form that I uploaded over the weekend. There's a lot of checklists that you can use if you're out there looking for a lender on an asset-based loan. That document that I just uploaded on Saturday will actually give you the questions to ask a lender or an investor. So, and these are all forms you guys can send out to your clients and all that stuff too. So there's a lot of them. I probably got
today.
Yeah. Yeah.
With a new guy.
Yeah, exactly. So use that form because that form's awesome. And I got 40 forms in addition to the 90 pages of my guidebook. My guidebook is just a lot. It's hard for people to sometimes download it, and then what do they need? So they'll still get it, be able to download it, but a lot of people download stuff and they don't ever need it. So I'm trying to find a better way where people can go and I can get, if I'm doing subject to, I can just go get all the subject to stuff I need. I don't need anything else. Unfortunately, that's not the situation that I've built this around. I've got it. I give you everything because I believe in front end. I believe in front end value, giving you guys values. The second somebody pays in, I want them to immediately have the value of, hey, I just downloaded it like 300. It's like hitting a pirate's chest. I was going to say it's like one of the Titanic wreckage, but it's kind of redundant this week. Robert, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Good, man. Doesn't sound like you're driving like last week.
No, I was in the airports and been busy.
Oh man. Yeah. So I was just kind of giving these guys an update because we're kind of at the last week of what we've been doing since January, but we start fresh on the 10th and 12th. So you came in at a good time to start fresh on that again. And then we've obviously cranked it up a lot more. I was just telling these guys about it. So not to sound redundant to a lot, if you missed what I said in the first like 10 minutes, the video will be there in the morning in the group uploaded. You can watch that.
Okay.
But I kind of went through the 3 areas on that Facebook group where everybody can go to for everything. Like want to go to what they call chats, which is people have a hard time because Facebook doesn't really have they don't have it in the tabs. When you have the tabs in the group, they have it. You have to almost find it. Tomorrow I'm going to kind of screenshot and tell people where it is. I do put at everyone, and it's a feature that's supposed to send a message to everyone in the group, but some people have disabled that because if you had add everyone in every real estate group you're in, you would be getting at everyone like every 10 minutes like I do. Like I literally have to be careful on if I have to make sure a lot of times I take out notifications because imagine I'm in Jim's group, 300,000 people. Imagine how, I literally had to take notifications off that except for like Jim and John, his moderators when they put stuff out. So files is where all the downloads are. If you go to files, and everything's there, and there's gonna be another 200 items there. And then there's a section called guides, and that's where a lot of the material for the next 16 weeks is gonna be uploaded. I'm basically gonna put 1,000 words or less per post in that, and they'll have a title, so it'll say seller carry, this particular strategy of seller carry. You'll have 3 or 4 of those as a title and 1,000 words or less, so there'll be 4,000 or 5,000 words there. And then so I've got 90 pages to put there of information worth 1,000 words per post. So that's what it limits me to. So you guys are gonna have a lot of information if you want to sell or carry. If you want to do subject to just regular flips, there's a lot for regular flips, and some for single family. If you want to get in, and it divides it into creative financing and into what was traditionally hard money and what is now private money. So it really breaks it. I really break it down into the 3 areas of all the money. So by the time you guys are done, it's 16 weeks. It's like you guys will be on, talking to people about money, brokering deals. There's also an opportunity if you want to broker money. We can get you hooked up with lenders to broker money. Willie's in Rock's program. Rock has a great program. If you get into their program, they can actually convert you over 6 months to a year to being a lender, a correspondent lender, and you get to use between 7 and 25 million of their money, and you basically lend it out, and you get it's a pretty good program. I tried to get into it right before the pandemic, and of course, we were out of business for 6 to 8 months. So Willie was able to qualify for their broker program last week, which was
Congrats.
great. So yeah, that's the door, the open door to there's correspondent lenders, man. Nobody knows it's not your money, it's coming from them. But you're lending it out and you're making the decisions. You have the underwriting software and all the systems to disperse their money. And you make this, you kind of make the spread. So if you get it from them at like 4% and you loan it at 10% or whatever, you get to pretty much keep part of the spread, which is great. And then the servicing company deposits money to your account on the interest payments every month. And the term.
Willie, you've been brokering money for a while now.
Yeah.
Almost a year.
Yeah.
Started out with Kogo. Didn't really close a lot of any deals with them. And I just really started looking for other people to broker for. I do more, at this point, I've done more short-term brokering than anything. I just recently linked up with some new people. I'm working on a deal with Kevin. And that's pretty much how it's going. I've just been trying to learn the game, meet new people, and meet different companies that I could broker for. With Rock, they want you to be doing 2 deals a month before they get you into that correspondent program. So that's where they're at with it. They'll sign you up for the broker program, and they'll give you a guy that helps you along. Once you're doing 2 deals consistently and you know their systems, they'll vet you out, and then I believe they're going to start you on the correspondent program.
Now, do they want you doing 2 deals a month with them or just in general?
At first they asked me in general, and I told them I wasn't really doing that much with Kogo, and they were like, well, and I asked them about them combining with them, and they didn't really say it, but they were like, well, you can do them with anyone, but if you do them through us, it's even that better because we know you know our system. But I'm believing deals with anyone is 2 deals as long as you're familiar with the system. Then you would just learn their terms and go from that point. He sent me a term sheet and told me to look over it. If I had any questions, to reach out to him, and if I had any loans, he would walk me through the process on it.
Yeah, they're awesome. And I got in that program right before the pandemic, and I did a ton of deals, but they didn't have this program they do now with Kogo and Civic. They kind of combined with Kogo and Civic on this program. They still have their own companies. Kogo has the largest, volume of private money brokers like myself, and so that's probably what the attraction of Kogo was, bringing these people that you could combine. These people already have a lot of experience, and they're very thorough, and Kogo's very thorough on paperwork. Civic was rumored to have been out of business. Everybody said Civic's out of business. Civic wasn't out of business. They fired their CEO and their CFO, and they restructured, and then they joined forces with Rock and Kogo. Civic has a phenomenal amount of resources as far as their software goes, their underwriting software, and their, so there's like 3, and Rock was started from 2 guys at Deutsche Bank back in 2009 after the housing crisis. They were senior vice presidents. They went out and raised, they've loaned out $8 billion since 2009. So that's, pretty solid background of, 13 years or 14 years. They've loaned out $8 billion. So it's a solid program to get into. You can broker also like Willie Sanford Kogo. We got Vizio, you got Ground Floor, you got Lending One, Lima One. all those companies that you can sign up for. We got a lot of the links are in the files tab. You can pull all the Visio stuff out there. Doris is going through the process right now of those companies as well, those 5 or 6 companies. And so if you have that range and you can broker for 5 or 6 of them, they all have different programs. Like Visio's got a really good short-term rental program. So if you want to do short-term rentals, because you guys see that group's big, their Facebook group, the one that I forget what their last name is, Carl, CAR. Should remember that. That's my dad's first name, but I don't. They have a really big group. Obviously, the subject to group is really big. There's some really specific groups on Facebook that are huge. And so short-term rentals is one where a lot of people are still not finding lenders. Vizio has a solid STR loan program. And I have the STR analyzer, guys. You can go into the files and you can download my analyzer. And so you can go in there and start putting short-term rental deals together for people. And Vizio will pay them what they're on their, I can give you John Sperling, his email address. He's their rep there. He runs the broker program. So you guys can go, if you look at in the files tab, if you look at the rental 360, what says Vizio in files tab, that is their term sheet. It has the SGI program on there. They're phenomenal. Lending One is awesome too. And Lending One has some really strong programs for new construction. They also have multifamily, single family. So there's some that have more than one, where Kogo has a lot of more, it's more single family, and they'll get into the triplexes and the quadplexes. They don't really go above 5 doors. They're still pretty much a residential single family lender, and that's how Lee started. And he's got a lien abatement program. His lien abatement program is pretty cool. It teaches you how to work with like the city of St. Louis, where you could go buy a house from the city for $500. They give you a house that was taken, because it's a lot cheaper, a lot better to sell it to you for $500 than having to pay the police to go buy it. And they have some horror. They show some houses they took in that kind of condition. One house they recovered over 300 needles, literally from a house that was abandoned, that was boarded up, and they turned around, fixed it up, and sold it, and made like $200,000 off of it. And it was on like the cover. It was actually in Spokane, Washington. It wasn't in St. Louis, but it was on the cover of the Spokane newspaper, and it was about Lee Arnold and his lien abatement program. And he started that all off with that, helping people, helping cities. He would teach you how to go to the cities and actually work with the city council or whatever in a city and get houses from them in mass quantities, because every city has houses that are hazard. Every city has, the fentanyl problem alone right now is huge. I mean, it's amazing. So there's some opportunity out there. Land banks, and Kevin is really experienced in land banks because he does his CHAI company, the one that he's doing the deal with Kevin and his Willie on, is a land bank. He was working in the city of Kansas City to help people with housing in Kansas City, in Missouri, on the Missouri side. And it was a great program too. And he and his buddy Dale Walker was on it. And Dale Walker was the CFO. He's like in his 80s now, but he was the CFO for the Kemper family. If you guys ever hear of Kemper Arena, which is the basketball arena at the University of Kansas, obviously, strongest, they're like Alabama football for basketball. So he was the CFO, one of Kevin's friends for the Kempers, which is, the Kemper family has Commerce Bank in the 1800s. So the Kemper family is loaded, kind of like Kevin's family in automobile and commercial office space in Denver. But so there's a lot of stuff there. If you guys want to broker, that's where you need to go. And we've got a lot of stuff, Robert. If you want to, you can download it right out of the files tab and get with me. And like I said, Doris who's on right now. She's going through the process right now of because some of the lenders require you to have different things. They want you to have an LLC. None of them will let you just do it in your name. You have to have an LLC. And sometimes they want you to have the NACS codes, and they want you to, some of them, not all of them, and a DMV number, which you can get for free. You don't actually have to do the paid account with Dun & Bradstreet until you actually, you scale and you really need it. You can get a number for free, So like I said, you got, not only Rock, you got Vizio, Ground Floor, Pogo, Lending One, Lima One. Briscoe was a family office I did. You guys ever see the Capital Syndicate post with, they talk about me, Lee Arnold sends it out. I did that deal with Briscoe, and it was 7.2 million. They're a family office though, and they don't, sometimes they're not doing anything. They're just kind of laying low. And sometimes they're really aggressive. Heather will actually let me know. She's there. She basically runs that family office for for the Briscoe family, and I forget they did a lot of stuff in steel. Like Briscoe was like a man. The great grandfather or whatever was like a worked with Andrew Carnegie. He was like one of his right hand men, and so the Briscoe family came out of steel. They're a big, they're not known, but they're like, they're like that next level of guys down, from like Rockefeller and all them. And he was like an administrator for Carnegie. It's actually Carnegie, even though they call it Carnegie Hall. So I learned that. I was watching a History Channel, it's Carnegie. So I mean, there's a lot of stuff. So Wednesday night, guys, like I said, we're gonna do the wrap up of what we're doing now. And then like I said, next week we're off, and then July 10th and 12th. On the Wednesdays, expect 2 hours, 2.5 hours full presentation. We're starting at 5:30 instead of 6. A lot of information. I've got like the 90-page guide to go through for you guys, and a lot more stuff. And Zoom finally gave me my full repertoire of apps, so I can do all the whiteboard and all the stuff. So a lot of stuff I'm gonna be doing. So it's really great. So
Cool, exciting.
just kind of, yeah.
Now, how
So
do we, if we're trying to figure out, if I was trying to get into that broker money, if I'm stuck on marketing myself,
that's actually what we're covering on Wednesday, but I can give you some updates now. You're marketing yourself to, out there on Facebook to real estate investors, and you have to compete with the asshole, the other people doing it, and then you don't know if they're scammers. And then you got the others, you got to deal with the wholesalers, but you got to deal with the people that are like, no brokers, only direct lenders. And so it's really is difficult. One of the things I had to transition from was I hit a wall right when like everybody, right when the pandemic started, the whole world hit a wall. But literally by that point, I had done about 250 deals. I was starting and 6 months into the pandemic in September, we started doing what we're doing now. Kevin and I started basically trying to extend my knowledge and my experience and bring people like you guys and other people that have been in the group, probably close to 100 between 2020, 2021, and now 23. And it's the hardest thing is like, so I'm going to download, put a lot of stuff in the group you guys can use for visual ads. And these are just stuff like, one of them's looks like a street sign, and there's a lot of them. I probably got about 30 of them I'm gonna put up there this week and into next week, just so you guys can right click and save as and use them, because it's like, and I've got text ads for you. And I've also written a lot of stuff in Chat GPT. Use Chat GPT yourself, because you can go in there and you can actually for free still get the Chat GPT 3 account and go in there and you can actually write ads for Facebook. You can tell it, I would like an ad for Facebook that basically does this, this, and this, and you name the things it wants to do. Within 30 seconds, you'll have that ad, and you can copy and paste and put in Facebook, and it'll stand out. ChatGPT, use it. It's free right now. Once ChatGPT 4 is out, get on the list for ChatGPT 4. It's paid. It's only going to be $20 a month. But start using ChatGPT 3 and AI. Don't be afraid of it, because Robert, you can write your language for your ads that'll stand out on Facebook, because let it do it for you.
that's what
It's
I'm trying
almost
to
getting to the
figure out.
point.
I'm trying to figure out this whole AI thing and
Well,
marketing.
that's what I'm just gonna go. I'm gonna do a bunch on ChatGPT 3 over the weekend, and I'm gonna just copy and paste them and put them into the group so you guys can see those ads. I'm not gonna use them in the other groups. That way you guys can see, you can start using some of them. Because I've gotten the prompts, and I've got prompts, I've got a lot of them, and I have 876 prompts for AI. And it's hard for me. I can't actually. I had to pay for the thing, and I have a portal, thing I have to log in to get them. So I can't like copy and paste them and give them to you guys. I wanted to do that. I was thinking about it, and I like, there's no way I can do it. But I can go into ChatGPT 3, and I'll be able to generate a lot of ads for you. I've got a ton already, and then I've got a ton of visuals I already have. One of them talks about we've got more funding than, and it stands out like a warning sign you'd get from like OSHA, and it says, we've got more funding than deals, and you can put it in there, and you could go to Canva, canva.com, and get the free version. But the best part is you'll get the trial version for 30 days, because
I got the Canva and I can't figure it out. It's driving me crazy.
I don't know. I that's what's up. I'm not an expert. I use Canva. I cannot teach people how to use it. But I do a lot. You guys see all the stuff I've been posting lately, the little things for these AMAs. That's Canva. That wasn't me, and I was able to take some things and just assemble them. And I've got I've got more pieces that I can put into those. And I trust me, there's a lot of stuff in Canva. I haven't paid a penny for it yet. I've had 4 extensions in the free trial. I've had it for 4 months and I just keep like, they keep giving you, well, we'll give you another extension for evaluation. I'm like, sure, there's another month free. I mean, eventually I'm gonna have to pay for it, but that's what I'm saying, I can't answer the Canva thing on what you're doing, because it's like, to me, I'm doing what I'm doing with it. And I'd like to do more, and I'm getting better and better at it. Because I'm doing something at least every day on it. So that helps me get a little something better. But watch these visual ads I'm gonna post for you guys this week and the next week, because along with what I'm doing in the guides, I'll post a lot of these things to help you guys start making those posts in other Facebook groups. So, because you guys will need all that information, that'll just help you at least get started. You won't be out there stuck. I don't want you to hit a wall in that way. And we have all the marketing stuff. And then what it is you start absorbing what we're going to be doing in the class in the Wednesday nights, and then start talking talking that stuff up to all the people you're talking about. And if you need help, we got people that are qualified. And if you're starting to get into brokering stuff and you're brand new to it or you want to get into it, Willie's just he's just a year ahead of you, and he's going to be the rock. So you can get with Willie, you can get with all the guys that are, already have experience with it. That's what this group is about. Nobody has all the answers. I've been in the 6 years, I've done 250 deals. I don't have all the answers. I actually, and I described myself earlier to somebody in another in a group that this is like a balloon. And I'm like the membrane of the balloon. And then you guys are the helium. In order for that balloon to fly or float, you need the helium. So you guys make up that helium, and then the tie that ties it together is just the collective. It's the group as a whole. But you guys will fill in a lot of that stuff. There's a lot of human resource talent in this group, and a lot of people we didn't. If I just wanted people and people and people, we'd have a lot more people in it. I try to be like, who really can benefit, because you guys understand the money. Everything else is out there. It's people still struggle with the money. You guys can go on Bigger Pockets. You can go on YouTube. You can go on, like everybody keeps saying in the groups, oh, go out there and learn it. Guess what? You can't learn. You cannot go out there and learn on the YouTube the money side, because it's just not, you got to talk to lenders. You got to talk to people. Erica Walker's coming on board, 25 years of experience, and she's joining the group. And she's somebody that, she's been an underwriter for Wells Fargo, not at the bank level, at the corporate level. So imagine, she's worked for, she's telling me she worked for Silver Hill Capital, which is now Silver Hill Financial. They changed that like 7, 8 years ago. They've been around forever in the hard money game. But she worked for them 10 years ago. And she's worked for Wells Fargo. Wells Fargo is starting to go off the cliff, as you guys know. So she's out, she's doing her own business now. And she's a good, and she couldn't do, she has people all the time ask her about deals and stuff. And she's an underwriter for Wells Fargo. It's a conflict of interest for her to advise people on that because of her job. So when she's in all the groups, she's trying to do her deals, but as an underwriter, she can't really give out that much. It's a conflict of interest for her. So now she's going to be in our group, and she's got 25 years in the business in the doing real estate funding. Her thing is she'd like to teach realtors rather than other, because she said realtors could really use a lot of, and it's a two, you guys see me post a lot of times. I get into most of my fights with wholesalers. It's like wholesalers are kind of like a little, So I think we have a really strong group, and I think that's the thing. So Robert, if you want to broker, I mean, Willie's the guy. He's a year ahead of you, and obviously I've been doing it for a while. But I'd rather get somebody fresh who can help you and advise you or something. Because he's, like I said, he's a year ahead of you. It's like I have when I go to Denver Health Medical Center, I see my doctor. Well, I had a second-year resident a couple of years ago when I went there, and I had some issues, and I was frustrated with some of these doctors that are like in their 60s or whatever, and they're set in their ways. And I had the second-year residents, 2 years out of medical school. When she walked into the room, I thought she was like a tech or a med thing or whatever. She was just out of medical school, and she had like all the answers because she's fresh and she doesn't have she's not set in her ways, and she has to consult with the third-year residents, which are almost out of the residency program, and then the attendings, and then the person who runs the program, the residency program in primary care. So she had to consult, and then all the other residents, first year residents, second year. So she was getting a lot of information. So that's how we should, that's how you want to look at the group. That it's kind of like people are at different levels of what you want to do. If you want to broker, you've got people that are brokering maybe 6 months to a year ahead of you, and they can tell you what they're doing. And then you may pick up a lender they don't have. They may have 3 lenders you have, and you guys can collaborate. And whoever happens, and a lot of stuff happens organically in this group. It doesn't all. It hasn't happened overnight. But we've, like I said, we have people that 70 something people. There's a few people outside. They're all off doing different things. We got the people from 2020, 21 that don't come on very much because they've built their Robert Newburn $75 million multifamily portfolio. Did this class, had 0 multifamily in 2021. In 2020, he started this thing in 2020. Now he has $75 million. So in property in Cameron Berry. So you just gotta kind of like align yourself with somebody who's closer to you. And like I said, I'm here to provide you guys all the resources. Go sign up for Kogo over Zero. Get signed up for them if you want a broker. And then a lot of the term sheets are there. I have their term sheets downloaded so you can see their current offerings. That's just my advice, is just to start signing up with them, because once you sign up with them, Robert, you'll get all their programs and stuff, and then they'll walk you through it. They'll onboard you. Erica was just talking today that she did a integration with her. Basically, got their underwriting system. They sent her login and all that stuff. Basically, her portal, how she logs into their portal to upload all the stuff for her clients. So they walk you through it. But if you have questions, they send you stuff, and I'm available for one-on-ones, and I've been there, done that, so I can walk you through it and what they're asking for. Different things that they might want. Trying to get Doris in. She'll be, she's signing up for 6 lenders, the broker for, and it just gives you that much more of a, if you guys ever remember, and it's probably changed now with computers, in fact, but remember if you used to buy a car, you go to the finance office, and that guy probably has one of those flip books with all the loan programs. At first they're going to have, yeah, and they're going to flip through it, and then of course, you're screwed if they go this way and they pull the whole thing back, because then you're at the 21%. Well, that's that's how you look at it if you're a broker, if you're a private money broker. Obviously now you don't have that flip book. There's all the programs you go through. Here's General Motors, here's this, here, it starts getting worse, as the credit scores drop and the employment records and all that. But that's what you got to look at as yourself as a private money broker. You have that flip book. So you go through and you got your premiums, you got your lenders for your true asset base. Do you have your 100% lenders? What are their qualifications? Cool. Are you looking for this? Is there credits? I think, there's some credit issues, because they are going to, we did talk about in the lender presentation last week, some lenders are still going to look at you at credit. They're looking to tier you. They're not going to tear you apart and say, oh, you had a couple late payments. They don't care. They're looking to see how you use the credit. Did someone file bankruptcy with their business, and why? Was it the pandemic? Everybody went out of business during the pandemic. So they're going to overlook that. Medical bills, they're going to overlook medical stuff. It's almost becoming a law now too, because like I said, yeah, they're not letting, and it states, and I think it's going federal now, where they're not going to allow credit reports to reflect medical bills. Is that people have medical bills and they still pay all their other bills on time. Nobody can help if they, get hit by a bus, things like that, and they get sick, it's like, and everybody was sick in 2020. I got COVID. I never went to the doctor over it. I was sick that Thanksgiving week of 2020. And I was in bed for like 4 or 5. I was like, and I got to the point where I was like, tomorrow I'm going to the doctor. I didn't want to be a statistic. I got to the point where I don't want to be I'll go to the doctor tomorrow if I still feel this bad. But then the next day I felt better, and the next day I felt better, and then I was up. So everybody was sick during COVID. And I think a lot of people may be getting sick because of the vaccines, but things like that. So like I said, there's a lot of resources in this group. So just take advantage of everything that's going to be, you can download everything. You go to guides, you'll be able to go to guides for the next 3 months, and every day there's going to be more stuff there. I can't put it all there. I won't put it all there at once, because I don't want people to get overwhelmed. But there will be, in some cases, 5,000 or 6,000 words in 5 or 6 different posts that basically cover seller failure or subject to things like that. So it's going to be a pretty in-depth thing. I won't do it because I don't want to overwhelm you. I don't want to overwhelm anybody, and everybody has to go. Now, you'll eventually be able to scroll through and you'll see the title. Everything's going to have a title in bold and say, here's seller carrier for this situation. And then it's going to be 3 or 4 posts that you guys can go through. And I mean, we have every funding solution, every strategy, everything. And it divides it into private money, what was traditionally hard money and was really creative, very creative financing options. So if you're just a real estate investor looking for, you're going to understand the private money game, the money game more than anybody. If you're going to be brokering, you're going to understand it. If you're going to be lending, if you are lending, you're going to understand it. If you want to lend, you're going to understand it, and you're going to be that much. And I got like a lot of stuff to. I joked today. Somebody said I'm kind of like the curator of the Smithsonian. Like I have so much stuff to give you guys that I've just put together over 6 years of doing this trial and error. It's all, you guys have a lot of resources, and then put your own in, because you guys are human resources, you know, and you guys go back to, I can use a military thing. The military has signals intelligence and cyber intelligence and human intelligence and all that. That's how the generals make their decision. They get all that, they get all those components together. So I don't know, man. It's like a lot of stuff going on. So Wednesday nights, like I said, it's going to be more the academics nights, and I'm going to be going through presentations, and then tonight, Monday nights will be a lot of discussions and deal. You can come on and you got a deal. Hey, you find a property, you want to source it. Hopefully, you get us involved before you put the offer in, so maybe we can structure that so the lender and the seller both approve. That makes it easy to get through. So if you guys need to have a deal, you can propose it to Willie or anybody. Robert, you start brokering or whatever, then you can be on there looking for clients as well. And then we'll have lenders on here every Monday night, and some like Erica Walker will be on here. So her 25 years of experience. We got Bill, we got Mel. Obviously, Casey said he can do $50,000. Yeah, exactly. That's been posted a few times too on Facebook or LinkedIn. I've seen that a couple places. But that's true, Willie. That's exactly what you need to do. What you have, what you need. The other thing also is, it's just guys, this is a great group of everybody doing deals and a lot of people wanting to know the money. I put this together because the money is the part that if you understand the money, you're gonna find it. So I don't know. I mean, like I said, it's a lot of stuff going on, and I'm trying not to do those 6:45 things anymore as much as I can. It's 6:45 in the morning. The other morning I was like I lost Wi-Fi. I was actually at the coffee shop, and then all of a sudden I couldn't get Wi-Fi, and it cut me off. I was like, "What the hell? This thing's something cool." And I remember at 6:45, you don't say anything really cool at 6:45 in the morning. So I don't know. Does anybody have anything they want to run by me tonight? Because like I said, it's Wednesday night. We're gonna wrap up, and then we're gonna have a week off, and then we start July 10th and July 12th. So, and I'm pretty excited, guys. I'm just kind of like at this point, like I want to put this information to you, out to you guys, and that's what I'm going to be doing during this kind of downtime for the next week and a half, 2 weeks. I'm going to be uploading a lot of stuff for you guys. Probably a good 2 or 3 hours a day of just me uploading.
When you guys are marketing, market like nobody's seeing your post. Do it once, do it twice, do it again.
Yeah, introduce yourself and tell people, hey, I'm in this, in the business. And the big thing too is also, if you guys are using Gmail and Yahoo, try to get a domain and try to get an email, and it's not that expensive. You can go to Namecheap, or you can go, GoDaddy, but you can go to Namecheap and get a thing right now for like 95% off on domains. I think this week it's like you can get a domain for $1.98, and then you can get a free trial with that $1.98. You get that free, get that for a year for $1.98, and then you get the 3-month trial for an email address, privateemail.com. If you sign up for their email, that's what it is. That's what I use. All my emails do privateemail.com, so I log in, and then you get an email address, and that helps too. And go out there and whatever your company is, go out there and you can go to make a little thing. If you need help with Canvas too, with Canva and all that, and you got a picture of yourself or something you want to use, like I can do it. I can go in there and help you do it, and I can go in there. You can send me the picture or whatever. If you got a logo, if you guys need a logo or something, then just put ZEESHAN into the group and Zishan will pop up. I'll give you guys his Fiverr. Zishan will make he'll make the cards for you. He can make your logo for you. I'll put his name in right now. So where you guys want to, he's in the group. He's in all my groups. I've been using Zishan since 2017. He's in Pakistan. He's the best. He talks fluent English. So just go in the group and put @ZEE. He'll pop up. He's a member. You guys will see him. He's actually a moderator for the group that you guys are in. So you can find him in the moderator. Just find Zishan if you need a logo. He'll give you the fiver. I think he has like $50 or $100. There's a couple different upgrades. He'll do like he'll do your website too. You can build your website. You just tell him what you want it to be like. You need to get logos. You guys just yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. So yeah, so Zishan's awesome, guys. If you need marketing and branding, that's what we're gonna do on Wednesday. When we wrap up, we're gonna do almost all marketing and branding on Wednesday night. So I'm gonna be the next 2 days, instead of me putting in the, what I was been putting when I put the documents we're going through, I'm gonna be putting those visual ads and stuff in there for you guys, and we'll go through them on Wednesday. And then if you can't make it, if anybody's listening to the Sound of Beyond or you guys can't make it, the video will be there the next morning. But I'm going to post a lot of visual and text ads over the next couple of days. I'm going to post them in that group. And then this weekend, I'll start with the guides after I do that. So we'll wrap up with marketing and branding, how to get your name out there and how to cut through the bullshit. Because it's a lot of these rules. When I started, yeah, when I came back from the pandemic, it was like, God help us, man. This space got busy fast and it's 90% bullshit. Like, I don't know how Jim and John do real estate investment network with 300 and I think they have 312,000 people in that group now. How do the hell they manage that with 300? I know they got like 20 moderators, like Sean Stevens and stuff. God, those guys are awesome for what they do and what they, 300,000 people. It can be a little bit hard sometimes to do 70 people,
What group
but
is that?
it's called Real Estate Investor Network. It's
Yeah.
it's a Facebook group. It's got 312,000 people. I can invite you there. And Willie's in there and a few other people. I mean, that's Willie and I cross paths about 30 times a day. And normally what I do too, guys, if I see, normally I'll have people ask about money and they'll be like, I need a lender. And then I'll see Willie post or Simi or like people in the group or even Michael Steele. You guys see Michael Steele everywhere. I know Michael Steele 6 years. Cam Wynn. There's also Owen Doyle. These are people that they're in the group. They're in our associates group. And I've been dealing with those. I will normally, if I see you guys post, I'll post, hey, go ahead and I recommend him too. He'll say, hey, here's me. And I'll go in there and make sure that you guys, because a lot of people know me in the groups, especially Jim's group. Jim and I talk almost every day and in messaging and stuff. And he lets me post it a few times. The moderators could like ban me, and I just called Bill. I just sent something to Jim, and like an hour later, I'm back in the group. So I kind of have to, and I take advantage of sharing Saturday. I make sure I've been posting the group, and I'll start making sure I'm going to have, make sure that if you guys are brokering and you guys are out there making money. My back end on this, guys, is doing that virtual system that I've been talking about. I'm going to make my money on that, with a lot of new people, and you guys are beta testing grandfathered in. So I'm going to make my money on the back end of doing what I'm doing on that, when we're able to put that out there at 30, a subscription program and all that stuff. So I'll get my money on that. So I try to make sure that everybody who comes in this group gets an opportunity to go out there and, get clients if you're brokering money, get borrowers if you're lending money, make deals if you're looking for money, to fund your deals. It's not about ego and stuff like that. There are some groups out there, I'd rather be anonymous to a point. And like, I can let you guys have the credit and I can be in the background, working on the virtual system. And for people that aren't familiar with that, I'll put the two links that kind of give you a reference of what I'm doing. One of them is not related to the business, but I'm going to put in the first thing as Lightspeed VT, like Vermont, Texas. So Lightspeed VT will be the backbone of what I'm doing. And they build, it's a great company. They're out of Las Vegas. So they provide the network. You guys can research them. And then a company called Storm Ventures Group. And as I was talking about Hale earlier, when I got into this business, I had a storm company, pretty big, did I did almost 1,000 reps and stuff like that. So Storm Ventures Group, and that's how I found out about Lightspeed, because Storm Ventures Group uses them as their program. Grant Cardone also uses Lightspeed for his 10X program. So we'll be able to go in there, and you guys can see I uploaded the 5 or 6 documents that Chris Galicki who's he's kind of loosely associated with me and Kevin. He did these numbers back in 2019 before the pandemic, because we were putting this into place when the pandemic came down, and it was gonna be a whole virtual program where you could go in there and sign up for a subscription monthly or annually, or you could go in and sign up for tracks. So if you were gonna get into multifamily, you could go just sign up for the multifamily track systems and get all the information you wanted, all pre-recorded from a studio, professionally done, just like you're watching Fox News or something. You know, you can go in there and watch it and see somebody actually presenting it. That's what you'd be paying for. There'd be some live stuff like we're doing now. We'd have a couple things a week. Eventually, my thing was to have something every day where I'd pop up and people could come in and be a live report, and I'd be, interviewing the big guys that are doing deals and do like an interview thing and do a lot of virtual live, and literally, obviously, that kind of got shut down, but it's going to be because we couldn't go forward to the pandemic. So what we're going to be able to do now with the virtual system at the end of the year is have that system put in place finally. Subscription plans, the monthly or the annual, and then the tracks, like a la carte. And then we'll also have their contractor store for some from Ventures Group, where people can go in and download and get all pre-branded, logoed up documents. Like they would have production manager or sales manager for them for the storm industry. They'd go in and get like the back end guy who basically negotiates with the insurance companies for the insurance claims on the roofs. They'd have the people that go out there and literally everything you guys can see on Storm Ventures Group contractor store. They got packages for everything, and that's the direction of what we're going to be going to with the downloads and all the stuff. We'll have somebody in our office, which is the office that Willie's working with on Kevin. We'll have somebody in our office actually generating that for people, putting their logos on that and sending that system out to them. So that'll be what we're putting together at the virtual system. There'll also be an automated AI-based system that'll be like I've been talking about. That'll take from A to Z. The best thing right now is to get privy and then get with our system. You guys will get our system as a part of the beta test for free. I can't cover privy. It's like $1,000, but if you guys go out there and talk to Benson, he'll work the deal. Just drop my name. And if you use Privy, you'll be able to find the deals. You can define a territory. He'll show you how to use Privy to comp. I mean, really good system. You guys can get really good comps through it and everything. And you can set the parameters in your buy box. So say I want to buy properties in Indianapolis. This is what I'm looking for. You're going to wake up. He updates right off the MLS. Now, this is really only single family. He hasn't gotten too much outside of small multifamily. But if you define your buy box and the territories or the areas, it updates every 15 minutes straight from the MLS. So you can work with that, and and then you'll be able to actually then eventually go right to our system and go right through the funding process. So, and that will happen by the end of the year, and everybody that's in the program now that paid $399 is going to be grandfathered. Everyone that comes in pretty soon is going to be paying $3,500. They're going to get our system. They're going to get Scope Tech, which is another thing I can talk about, and they're going to get Privy, because then I will be able to cut Benson over money and sign them up for Privy, and then hopefully build it. I can't integrate it in his system, but I can give it to you guys, and then I can build our system out of that. The rest. So Scope Tech is a company, and Willie and Doris and Zeke know about it because I've talked about it. But Scope Tech is my friend Jared Rash, who I worked for in the roofing industry before I started mine. He has a company called Metro Construction in Denver that did 15,000 roofs. He does roofs still now, but he does them in Aspen and Dale because it's a lot easier to go do a house in Aspen for $150,000 roof retail than having to do like an $8,000 roof with an insurance company. But he owns a company called Scope Technologies, and I'm going to put the link his website. Scope Technologies has the 50th floor of Republic Plaza in Denver. So, and I have a meeting with Jared on the next Monday. Again, he's actually, so Scope Tech, be sure I get that in there. I forgot a period. Normally I'm not typing up, but when I do my Zooms, I have my just one of the little. People will probably notice that. How come when Renee's typing, he's looking like he's like this? Normally, I'm like here. This is how my setup is when I'm on doing the Zooms. So with Scope Tech, Jared does a lot of stuff. He has roof scope and gutter scope. You guys can see all the scopes he has if you look at his website. And he's been in business a long time, and he has contracts with Owens Corning. I mean, all the Owens Corning platinum contractors around the country get like a membership for Scope Tech when it's their platinum program. So he's really in with Owens Corning and all that. So people can he has a thing called Products. If you guys go look on his website, you can see the memberships for Scope Tech. And I'm going to be trying to set it up where you get privy and then you get like a 1 year to one of the Scope Tech packages. So imagine now you can get all these measurements and you can get he can do the complete house, but he has Products. And with Products, he was able to provide them an estimate. So it's a powerful estimate system where he ties into what the insurance companies are paying for restoration because they
okay.
would build the estimates. So they would build the estimates. There's another thing called Exactimate. There's a lot of companies out there that use Exactimate and Stability, and then State Farm, Allstate, all those adjusters use Exactimate and Stability. But Products does the same thing, and he was able to build the estimates. And because it's an insurance pricing, you guys as the real estate investors are obviously trying to make money. Your contractor still wants to make money, but if they can make money off of insurance work, they can make money off of doing flips for you. So the pricing is good. And when you go out and you can use Products to make you can't really do a whole lot on the inside, but if you're doing the outside, you get correct measurements. You can get the gutters, you can get the siding. If you're doing painting, if you're going to paint the exterior, you're going to get all that. You can do some on the interior, because he has a lot of stuff you can do, like with insurance. If you see like insulation scope on there, you can actually get a scope and it'll tell you how much insulation you need. I mean, basically they can do the exact measurements of the roof, how they have to measure it for insulation. You still got to go through the attic hole inside, and they have these little cardboard, they're like 3 feet long, cardboard. You get them if you go to the insulation aisle at Home Depot, they probably give them to you free. You can go in there and you can stick them to your insulation. They stick out, and it tells you like, do I need this much more insulation? So when I worked for Jared, I actually went on a couple insulation sales, and I would go in there in the attic and I'd put them through the insulation. They would give me the scope and it would tell me if there was this much of 3 inches on that ruler. Then I knew how much insulation from that scope was to price the insulation. And ironically, one time, my first deal, I went out there, I made $800 for a 20-minute inspection, which I thought, man, I need to sell insulation. Then it's like, just didn't want to go up I just didn't want to go up to hot attics anymore. It was like 120 degrees up there. And then I come down all sweating, and I was always worried about putting my foot through the drywall and stuff in the ceiling. And but I made some decent money with insulation with them. So my goal is then to give you guys everybody privy for a year and give everybody Scope Tech for a year. That way, at least you can go out there and you can get your measurements, and you can get and Jared said it's really data. You can imprint the same data can generate what real estate investors need. And so he has all the data, and he's in the 50th floor of the Republic Plaza downtown Denver, which is like probably $30,000 a month to rent his office. He's a tech company. So that's the goal of what I'm going to be able to do. And then in the middle, I'll be able to do work with Justin and some other people, vendors, because we have all the components for automated system that I've been talking about. So all that will take place at the end of the year. So by that time, all this 16-week program stuff will go right into that, and then it'll all be virtual. And then you guys will see me on the news report, but you won't have to hear me talk on. But we're gonna get presenters, guys, and then like I've been talking about too, and I know Willie and Zeke, you guys heard me talk about this indoors. We're gonna have presenters too. We're gonna have people who facilitate, who can actually. We'll get a securities attorney. We'll get somebody else go through 20 tracks. They'll get a little compensation for doing it, part of the revenue share. There'll be 2 levels of revenue. There'll be one for people who do that, who come out and present and are, hey, this is a guy who does rehabs on multifamily. He's going to show you in 40 videos how to basically go from a class B multifamily to a class A, and what he did on the rehab and the value adds. And he's going to teach you how to do that. And then he'll get a little cut, obviously, from the 2 revenue pools. So if you guys go to those documents and say PMA University, there's like 5 or 6 of them in the files tab. You guys can download all those. Those are all the numbers that Chris did in 2019. I think all the numbers are strong now. It's just as good, actually, probably even better, because most everybody's still doing virtual events. I know Rod Cleef's doing his first live in-person event in Orlando in September. And then, obviously Jillian. Zeke, did you get on Jillian's call? I know you said you signed up for it. That was pretty good. She was really cool. Yeah, she's pretty awesome. You guys want to ever really I post these, I've been posting them, so you can kind of tell you about it. As Julian Sidoti is one of the best securities attorneys out there. And she does every once in a while. She does a free webinar. She had one last week. Zeke and a few other people were on. I know Doris, you were going to be on that one, weren't you? I know Doris said she was on that. And then I posted Rod Cleef on one too that was free on Friday or on Saturday. So I'm going to try to post these free ones. And like, either Jillian, you guys can go talk to Jillian for an hour on a webinar. You're going to learn a lot from her, and you're not having to pay her $500 an hour. But she's pretty awesome. So, like I said, I'm trying to bring you guys a lot of resources like that as well. I just have so many people that I could just sit there and sign up for this webinar, sign up for this webinar, and they're all free. So go take advantage of it. You know, I've probably done 200 of webinars in my last 3 or 4 years. A lot during COVID, I would sign up for a lot of stuff that was free. A lot of people that were doing paid ones were doing them free just to fill time during the pandemic. I guess talk to people. Yeah, that was a cool thing about a lot of celebrities. I watched a lot of Paul Stanley from Kiss, did a bunch of them from his house. It was kind of cool to see Paul Stanley without his makeup sitting there in his chair, just strumming along on his guitar. So does anybody have anything else tonight? If not, we'll probably log out in a few minutes and then just watch. I'm going to put everything this week is marketing and branding. So we'll answer a lot of those questions, Robert, about that, how to penetrate the market.
You won't unstick me. I'm stuck.
No, I will unstuck you. That's what I'm here.
You're not stuck.
Um,
Just do it. You're not stuck. Just do it and start getting momentum.
I think I got to get out of my own way.
Yeah.
No, and watch. Use what I post, because I'm going to post the stuff I already have.
Well, I still got to try and figure out how to do it. I mean,
no, I'm going to help you. I'm going to help you, and I'm going to I'll make sure you know which groups I'm in.
At 46 years old, what am I? 40, fuck, whatever I am.
Well, 2 weeks from tomorrow.
You're afraid of what to say. What do you say the right thing? It's like
2 weeks from tomorrow.
I'm new to the social media thing.
Hey, you have money.
2 weeks from tomorrow is Natemas, the 114th greatest holiday ever. It's my birthday. I actually trademarked my birthday. It's like Natemas is like Festivus on Seinfeld. It's like the birthday for the rest of us. So yeah, it's always a week after 4th of July. And it's also National Slurpee Day with 7-Eleven. And so I take advantage of that. It's my birthday and Slurpee Day. So you guys know on the 12th, when we start on the 12th, I will be pretty jacked up off of Slurpees. No, we're getting unstuck, dude. I mean, don't go out there and try to do it all at once, follow us. We'll make sure you're in the groups that we're in, and we'll make sure, hey, do you want to go post? When do you want to go post? And we'll go on the same time.
I was almost to the point trying to hire a VA to figure out how to use Canva and make the damn posts.
You're in. You got a VA. You got 70 of us. People that are done that, and we're all in the business. That's why I call it associates. That's why I call this associates. Everybody's like, hey, we're gonna create some cool thing like data or something. It's like I couldn't think of anything. So I'm like, you know what? I just want to be respectful. Everybody's an associate. We all make money together. Everybody wants everybody to succeed. I try to stay out of the way of people. Like I said, if I see Willie post or somebody or they post some respond, I try to go and say, hey, I recommend, contact Willie, contact Semi, contact. I do it all the time. I do it with Michael Still, Owen Doyle. Even when they weren't in my group, I was competing with them. If I'd see them post, I'd be like, give them courtesy. And that's why I built a relationship where I can call them, because they call me, hey, do you have a lender who'll do this? Because not everybody has, we have 850 lenders on that database. Once I get that figured out, because I finally just decided I got to give you guys just one all encompassing 10,000 lenders and contacts, and not have all the stuff you guys don't need, which you can still get if you want to go into those areas. I don't have all the answers, and I never have. I look at it this way, like I said, I'm like the membrane of the balloon, and I have all this knowledge, expertise, resources. I'm like a curator. I mean, the people that work at the Smithsonian or the Met or the Louvre or whatever it's called in Paris, they're still doing research. They're still out there looking for dinosaur bones. I'm looking for all that. I'm out there like archaeologist and looking through history, and I love trying to find, the resources you guys need, the resources that are out there. I came up with this whole concept during the pandemic, because I need to break out and do this huge, put this whole thing together where all these people can take advantage of it, because I hit a wall. I'm like, I've done 250 deals I can't compete if I'm just one-on-one with all these people that are just coming into the space and 90% of them are scammers. You know, it's like that is horrible. It wasn't that bad. It only took me about a month or 2 months after I took Lee's class. And I had been private money brokering. I did 3 or 4 deals. Then I took Lee's class. Then I did almost 250 over 3 years. I mean, literally, that was like bang, bang, bang. And I didn't have to advertise. People knew who I was. I had a group of 5,000 people that I built. So a lot of my customers came out of that 5,000 people. In August of 2020, I basically just got fed up with all that. And I gave it over to, I can't pronounce his last name now. He took the group over for me, and 3 months later, I basically transitioned, and then I kicked myself out of the group. He was we were both the admins. I actually kicked myself out of the group because I didn't want to, I'd done what I could do with it. I had 5,000 people. I did a lot of my deals out of that group, and so then I basically like, you know what, I got to put a group together. So 2020, Kevin and I did the first group. We have, Helena McDonald. If you guys know, if you know who she is, she's the lady in Australia. We helped her get set up as an LLC in Wyoming. She's in Melbourne, Australia. She brokers from Melbourne, Australia, and we helped her get set up. Cameron Barry, I told you guys about Cameron. You guys are in the groups. You guys have, if you've been in there since January, I know, or even April, you've probably seen Cameron once or twice come on. Robert Mayburn, if you guys go to the YouTube channel, I did an interview with him back in June of last year with Kevin. Robert he had nothing in real estate in his portfolio at that time in 2020. Now he had 75 million a year ago. He's probably got 100 million now. So we try to put all these people together that can, and then this group is even stronger than that group. There's 5 or 6 people in that group that are just killing it still. And then we have all the people now, you guys are going to kill it. It's just the process. Yeah. And a lot of stuff's happening organically. Kevin's probably going to get the deal and ever getting funded. And Bully's came in at the right time to probably get that deal. So, and I know he's actually working right now on getting the second put together for it. So that's why he's not here tonight. And then, like I said, I'll have my office there and I'll have my studio there. So very high tech. So plus I'll be above Danny so I can kick his ceiling. And you guys probably remember, if you guys were in the program in April, well, I think Doris was. He probably just came in at the time. Danny was actually on a Zoom with us in the associates group. He's actually in the associates group. He's a realtor, one of my friends in Evergreen. So he's the agent, the buyer, seller. He's doing dual agency and he's a tenant in that building. So he's got a lot of he's got a lot of interest in that deal. Guys, I don't really have any much tonight. Just don't feel like you're stuck. We'll get you unstuck.
Yeah, Robert, don't have like imposter syndrome and feel like you're too new to do it. 99% of the people on Facebook and a lot of the other, especially in a lot of the other mentor groups, truly have no clue what they're doing.
No,
so you know what I mean? And like anyone who's, you can have a conversation with somebody and in 2 minutes if they have experience, if they know what they're talking about. So I mean, just watch your step, check in with Nate, check in with the team, and get the advice before you sort of move on to the next step. And if everybody's supporting everybody truly in real estate, like everybody can make a ton of money. And there's no reason like for the greed and the craziness that's going on with wholesaling right now. Like it's gross and it's giving, and that's where the horrible reputation from wholesaling is coming from. So, be good to your clients and your clients will be good to you, and, find a good team.
Yeah, it's like, that's why I'm fortunate I'm friends with Jim. So eventually if I get kicked out by one of his moderators for getting in a fight with the wholesaler, I just gotta reach out, Jim, I need back in. No, because I could tell you how many deals I've, as a private money broker, went south, and it was only because there was a wholesaler involved. And I tell people this all the time, and Willie can attest, everybody that's experienced has done anything with lending or brokering can tell you, would you rather have a client come to you before they've ever put anything under contract where you can help them structure an offer and you have the lenders in mind that, hey, you're going to do this, guess what, here's the tear sheet, here's this, we're going to build that offer around that. So that way the seller's happy. If they have an agent, the agent's happy. And guess what? You got 3 lenders. You got the primary, you got a secondary, and you got a backup. you got 3 lenders and that deal will get funded because you want to encourage people to come to you and sign that client engagement letter, do a 6-month deal. It doesn't cost them a penny. You're working for them. It's actually you, or it's contingency. You tell them, if I can find you a deal, and it doesn't mean if they can go find the funding somewhere else, as long as it's not through, one of the lenders you're working for, then you have exclusivity through Vivio or whoever it is. If they can go find the deal anywhere else, great. Then, they don't need to, you're not going to get a penny off of it. Give them that option, give them that freedom and say, hey, no, it's not exclusive enough that I pay no matter what. Wholesalers are trying to get this thing where they get paid no matter what. They'll just cloud the title. And I think that's a lot of the stuff that they're doing is, I saw an argument the other day, like they're asking, how much will your people pay? Like they're saying, well, we'll take it up to 65% of ARV if they'll buy it at 65% of ARV. So what do you mean if you find the wholesaler finds it at 40%, they're gonna make it 65% of ARV? It's like how much more money are they gonna make on that deal? That deal's gonna go south. If you go to like Privy and you work with Benson and you find that property in Indianapolis that he showed Kevin and Jesse in April last year in 2022, it's 34% of ARV, and it was on market and it had to sell. The agent was on. You could have just called the agent. They had the agent's phone number and their email. Put the offer in. It's on market. Just offer what the agent's got it listed for on Privy. They're not listed on Privy. You're having the MLS. But you know what I'm saying? You go to it, you make the offer, you're at 34%. Guess what? Now you can go and you got to factor in your 10% closing costs. You got to factor in your rehab costs. You're now going to be going to the lender at 50%, 55%. They're going to be like, that's a really good deal. And that's risk reduction. That is risk reduction. That's taking a lot of risk out. That lender is going to love that deal because they're going to be like, this guy's going to make 40% instead of 20% or 15%. That's going to be a good deal on you. You cut the lender, you just cut the wholesaler out. You don't need the skip tracer and you don't need the lead generator. You got Privy, you got this whole program here, you got everything. You can just download all the funding stuff, line up whoever the broker is, get their lenders, get the EMD funding. We got KC, we got other people. We're putting almost $1 million together of EMD money and gap money and transaction money. And then we've got all the lenders that these guys broker for. And then the lenders themselves that have money. And then guess what? Willie and like Erica, they're going to be correspondent lenders, probably another 8 to 10 people, correspondent lenders. This group's going to have access to, if they're first going to start at a $7 million line of credit, but they could have 10 or 12 or 25 million. We could have somewhere between 70 and $250 million that sits in this group where you guys are relationships. Now, sure, they're going to lend it outside the group, but think about when you guys have the relationships you already have with them. You're going to have 70 to $250 million right there. Because these guys they're on the call with you. So keep that in mind, guys. This whole group, everybody that's not watching, we have almost 70 people. You guys are about to have a lot of resources, given to you in the next 6 months. So provided, take advantage of it. Take advantage of all the resources, human resources, all the document resources and database resources. There's a lot of talent in this group and a lot of resources. So, and I definitely appreciate everybody, putting the faith in me to produce this for you guys. A lot of stuff I've had, I just have to, I have to go and clean it up a little bit. Make sure then teach you guys how to use it if you haven't used it before. And then I can get out of your guys' way. You guys go make your money and stuff. And I can be like, I'll just go build the virtual system.
Let's go.
All right, guys. I think we've gone pretty far tonight.
So next week, there's nothing, right? July 10th?
Nothing next week, July 3rd and July 5th. And then we start on July 10th and then July 12th. Will be just because, we could have done Wednesday. A lot of people were like, unfortunately, it's not like July 4th is on the weekend, so I had to take advantage of it in a couple of days. I need a lot of next week to do all these uploads for you guys and just have some time. You guys can talk to me. You can hit me up anytime. It's not like you guys won't see me on Facebook. I'm not like going to be going on and just walking away completely. I've got a lot of stuff to do for you guys. And then I will be doing a lot of that. So like I said, you'll see me. You're going to cross paths with me at least once a day. Willie does it like 30.
Waiting on the 10th, recording, taking notes.
Yeah. And if you can't be here, don't worry. Like I said,
I'll be here.
Yeah, no, definitely. I appreciate, and you guys, like I said, something comes up, you're driving, you're late, whatever. The video will be there the next morning. I'm not gonna say that we're gonna guarantee doing videos on Mondays because I really want to have an open discussion where people are free, they don't have to worry about it. Because then we're pretty good. These are private. I've only put like 2 or 3 of these videos on Wednesdays or the Mondays sessions we were doing that were recorded on the public YouTube, mainly because I was promoting the program. But ideally, I don't want to be recording Mondays because I want you guys to have the freedom to talk about your deals. And that's an opportunity for you. That's Mondays for you guys really to talk about your deals. Eventually, all the lenders and all the brokers and all that are going to be here to listen to them and hopefully get your deals funded. Wednesday nights are going to be recorded every time. So Thursday morning, if you weren't on the call or if you just want to watch it because you heard something, I haven't got to the point where I'm good enough to put in the little breaks, if you look on YouTube and you watch a concert, it tells you what song or, I'm not good enough at that point yet to do that. Maybe, by the time we do the if I wasn't do the virtual system, I won't even need to do that. I'll have a professional editor. So, like I said, the videos will be there on Thursday morning. And then I'm available, everybody knows me, you guys that are, and these guys, if you haven't seen me all the time, everybody knows I'm accessible. I'm on all the time. And I spend most of my time in the morning, I'm doing my marketing, my posting. And then in the afternoon, I'm kind of doing calls with people and, things like that. So you'll see me a lot more in the mornings. And I usually do it for my friends. They have a bar and a restaurant that opens for breakfast, and I go at 8 o'clock when they open. They have a bartender, and so I usually hang out with the bartender, keep them company until the cooks and stuff get there. So I get my free coffee, so I'm using their Wi-Fi. So I'm usually there for a couple hours in the morning. Then tomorrow I got my hot sauce booth. Oh, awesome, Zeke. Well, we're gonna do that. I think one night I'm gonna try to get everybody like you and Casey and everybody together and Willie and those guys, all the people, and connect you guys with that way, these guys know if they've got a client or somebody where there's somebody with some EMD, and obviously then you can kind of see what your risk tolerance is, so you can make your own tear sheet and your own, guidelines for them, and then they can come back to you and say, hey, can I use 5,000 of that for this client or something like that. We don't want everybody just to go all in either when they're first doing it. We want you to have your risk tolerance and make sure you're good. And that way before you start throwing in the huge money. So, that's another thing that's, Casey's got 50, if you got 20, Mel's got some money, Bill's got some. We're gonna get everybody who has like 2,000 to whatever they have and kind of pull it and say, this is kind of what we have. We'll do a capital call every week. You've out of your 20, you've blown out 10,000, you got 5,000 this week that you're willing to put into a deal. Then Willie and those guys can know, hey, Zeke's got $5,000. So can I go do something for a client with $5,000? So we're gonna put all that together for you guys, and then we'll have that'll be it's kind of what lenders only is gonna be. So we can have a discussion, maybe lenders only on Monday, and then literally by the time we come out on 6 o'clock, all the lenders are over here. People who have money and stuff can be out there like listening to what deals are needing to be funded, and then you guys can put those together with Willie and the other guys who are Erica and stuff. So that'd be awesome though. That's how Monday's really about that. And then Wednesday you guys get to spend time with me talking the whole time. So I will see you guys on Wednesday, and then we'll be off.
It's getting dark.
Sounds
right.
good.
Cool.
Yeah. All right, guys.
Thanks,
Appreciate it.
guys.
Thanks.
Happy 4th.
All right.
Happy
Yeah.
4th, everybody.
Well, if we see you on Wednesday, we'll see everybody Wednesday, and then we'll be off until the 10th. So okay,
Okay.
guys. Cool. Talk to you guys later.
Got it.
All right. Take care, everybody.
Okay.